Hi, Sean.
Hello, Sean. How are you? Hello, Kara. Are you okay in your house, your place? Hello, Jason.
Hello. We're seeing each other a lot today, Sean.
Right. Good to see you again. Yes. Looks like yeah, they are very much interested in this area.
Yes, I mean, they came back very quickly. I think they're interested. They just can't commit until they know the scope. So,
okay.
Yeah, formally. So it was very good. I mean, they're very enthusiastic and they have all the capacity. I think they're a good partner.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh. We have to be careful because we have discussed with several industry partners, but they are very keen initially, but after several discussions, they it's very difficult to convince them.
Yeah.
Until
I think they're you will see anyway. You can never be sure. We'll see.
Okay, let's try. Hello, Kara. She got impacted by the flooding in Queensland, Brisbane, right? How about Benedict? You okay
We're okay up here. We're a little bit higher here in Toowoomba, obviously on the Great Divide, Sean. So we were able to escape a lot of the flooding. It's really bad down in Brisbane and to the Sunshine Coast, the Gold Coast. Although in saying that our catchment in Toowoomba is our dams are spilling. Yeah, we had some minor flooding over the weekend, but nothing like Brisbane, unfortunately.
So Kara is here, but she emailed me in the morning. She's a little bit problem with her property in her area because completely the electricity is blacked out. And now
I'm here, but I'm in my car with the car on just to have a bit of power. And it looks like it might be raining again, so I'll just see how I go. But
okay, so
Kara, thank you for making it anyway.
Right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's okay. I kind of need the distraction from looking at bomb sites and Facebook pages and walking down and watching the flood rise, and I just think, oh gosh, just do something different for an hour.
Kara.
Definitely, it's your safety is our priority. Don't too much concentrate on our meeting.
No, I'm okay, thank you. There's plenty of people in much worse positions than me on this street and on other streets. I'm in Oxley, which is a bit of a low-lying area. Anyway, I'll be right.
All right. So Stefano, he just emailed me, and he's a little bit late because he has a little bit urgent issue, and he will join a little bit late. So I don't know. We can start without him or just wait for him a little bit. We can have a maybe discussion before he join, and then just like a free discussion or any question for any progress for your hub.
Well, there is, but maybe we'll wait until until we tell everyone simultaneously.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So in the meantime, we can have any like open discussion together with your own agenda. If you have any question or any problem or any issues for the research hub. Maybe we can have a. If you don't have any question, we can just spend the time until Stefan is coming. We can talk about this one. Can you see the logo?
Yeah.
I thought it looked a lot better now.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's nice. I mean, it's great.
I think it's much better without the toilet, basically. It restricts the whole creativity by just having a toilet. So.
Yeah, still we need to revise based on the Jeff's comment. This nutrient in a circular economy has to be on the bottom. So we haven't, sent this final version to our designer, who is Lani, and then we will, after today's meeting, we will finalize the logo. So if you have any more comments before.
I think it works either way. I don't feel that strongly about it. I thought it could look a little better with the wording below, but I'm not convinced that it would.
It'd be a bit more balanced, I guess, because of the big nice things at the top of the circle. So maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I think because the big one is at the top and smaller one can be at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I guess if we look at both side by side, and then we can make have one at the bottom and one at the top. Then we can decide.
That's a good call.
I mean, I'm always a minimalist, so I always try to reduce everything as much as possible in logos, but I don't want to impose that on this logo. So.
So we can finalize Shahrukh, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the urine color is okay, right? Like really gold.
A little
Well,
dehydrated.
they probably need a bit of a drink, whoever's pee that is. But yes,
Yeah.
it certainly does look like liquid gold, which I guess is the idea.
Okay.
Okay, Stefano,
Okay, I think
just
Stefano
on
is
time. Hello, Stefano.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Yeah, I just walked across the campus and I'm gonna be munching through your talk.
we just discussed about logo. Now it's officially we can start our meeting if we agree. Yeah, we are already 10 minutes behind the schedule. Okay, sure. Yeah, we can start.
Okay. So can you see the file, right, Sean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first meeting of the year for the NICE KCIs. My name is Shera Punso, and I'm a senior lecturer at the School of Civil and Environmental Engineering at UTS. I work very closely with Sean, and I have been working with Sean for quite some time, and now I continue to work in this hub as well as one of the CIs. So I'm not the key CI, but I'm also one of the CIs. So I will be moderating today's meeting. The agenda is shown here. Actually, we already circulated in the email. And actually, the objective of this meeting is to basically update the progress of the NICE Hub and also discuss some of the detailed projects from each KCIs. And so that this will be an opportunity for everyone to know what other KCIs are doing and explore collaborations, also as to avoid any duplications of the work. So also we'll have any new ideas to move the ARC hub forward. So this is also to be discussed today. So briefly about housekeeping, each KCI is actually allocated 20 minutes, as you said in the email. But this is informal meeting, so I would want you to use in any way that you can. But maybe the best option is to first you can make a presentation about your project, and then we can discuss on that with the feedback from each of the members, and then further. It's not exactly set time, but if you can keep it in that time, that's fine. But if you exit also, that should be fine. So some will require more and some may less. But of course, if you extend too much, then I will give a gentle reminder so that everyone gets the equal opportunity to present. So without further ado, I would like to now welcome Sean ask Sean to give an update on the NICE Hub and also welcome the members. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sharon. So I can go for directly my slide. So thank you, everybody. And then good to see all of our KCI and especially the Kara. Yeah, very much appreciate your participation today. So if you have any problem, please feel free to go. Yeah, you don't have to worry about this meeting. We are recording so we can share within our KCI. So it should be follow up at the later on.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so this meeting is about how we can collaborate each other so we can think about what's the mutual collaboration, what kind of support we need each other. So that's the reason why we can start for the KCI meeting. Also, we have a lot of CIs and PIs. So we will separately organize, possibly, I don't know when is the best time. That's the one of our meeting agenda today, whether we can let them get together before agreement or after agreement. Yeah, no matter what, we will organize the launch the project for the ARC executive together. So officially, yeah, we will have project launching possibly August if everything goes well. Otherwise, yeah, we will see when is the best timing we can get together for other CIs and PIs. But anyhow, at this moment, still we have several uncertainties, especially project agreement. So I want to update what's going on next step and then how we can think about the project design because you need to plan for your project agreement at the annexure C. So you need to fill the form at the last table of your agreement. So it's better to have a little bit of discussion today. And then in the future, we can incorporate, for example, like I want to include the JSON ISA people with the sum of the industry partner because they don't contribute cash. I don't want to let them make a separate project if they don't really create any cash contribution because it's additional activity for our administrative work. So better to incorporate together with the cash contribution. So that's the one of the our discussion today we can cover. So I just want to follow up what's our progress. So we got a good outcome last year, July, and then we have discussed with the CIs and industry partners, and still every partner organization have not confirmed their involvement, even though they are strongly supportive, but it doesn't mean when they sign the hub agreement, they have delayed. Also, we have a serious problem with the Origin Water. The company nowadays merging together with another company. So they ask you, okay, please wait for the this hub agreement. So it takes maybe several more months, 6 months. So in this case, we have to delay all the project. Unless otherwise we have all the threshold the cash contribution from industry partner, this project officially cannot launch. So we have to make sure $1.5 million cash contribution, and then ARC will release the $2 million their research funding. And then we have to organize the official launching of the project. So if we delay one organization to sign the agreement, we have to delay whole the project. And then Christine Smith, in October, we worked together with her as a hub manager. And ARC, we have a website, LinkedIn. I'm sure that everybody interact with each other, right? So if you have any information or any kind of news, so please share with us and then we can upload in the social media and website. But our website is still under construction because we are waiting for a full-time hub manager. So it could be organized maybe at the middle of this year, maybe July or August, when you have an official hub manager, full-time job, and we can ask them to organize this website. But at this moment, yeah, this is only URL we have. So some industry partners, partner organization have withdrawn from the project, but we have also on board new CI partners and industries. So we have so far 5 industry partners have been withdrawn. One is the Black Thumb, Payari, Chomdan, Kosong, and then one industry partner, as I mentioned, Origin Water, is under negotiation with the sub-merging company with another company. So we have to wait until they confirm officially whether they will support your project, this hub or not. So they said they will let us know in May. So we have to decide whether we can just hold the company and then find the alternative industry partner, or we just wait for until May. If something wrong, yeah, we have to delay for another 6 months. Still, it's not sure. That's why I have discussed with several people, Stefano and Jarub and other people. We believe it's better to find a new industry partner rather than waiting for the Origin Water. So that's the current status. Also, we have new industry partners. So I will show this information, maybe another slide. I organized this one later on. Who are the new industry partner? Also, several PhD students already are working on the project. Also, one PhD student has been submitted a PhD thesis. So some of the activity already it's ongoing our research, so that we have several PhD students involved, and then some of students have been also submitted their PhD thesis. So we have a reasonably good outcome so far without any funding. So we have around 5 PhD students with Melbourne University, and then also Faculty of Engineering. We have several students having involved this PhD study on urine fertilizer project. Also, we have one PhD thesis submitted, and then 3 research articles have been published on the acknowledgement of the ARC industrial NICE, and then finalizing the participant agreement, and then final research agreement. So you remember we emailed you our research hub agreement in December to every partner organization. And then now we got a feedback from Griffith University, Melbourne University, also some of the council, they like to have a little bit of change. So we compiled all the comments from the different industry partner as well as the university. So now we have a new version of agreement. So now, from now onwards, we will distribute again. So if we want to change, we will change at the project agreement Annex C. So no more change of our official hub agreement. So you need to go through the participant agreement first, and then everybody signed the page 18. So this format is already a little bit changed, but overall concept is very much same. IP and then some of the general reporting, that kind of information agreement are very much similar, but we have changed a little bit of clarification for the hub agreement. And then possibly next month in March, we are planning to finalize hub agreement, which means when they sign the hub agreement, so officially they are involved their cash contribution and in-kind contribution. So we will try to raise the tax invoice. So UTS will create the tax invoice to collect the funding from the partner organization. And then we have to secure $1.5 million. And then we have to report to the ARC, okay, this is the industry cash contribution. okay, this is the threshold cash contribution, $1.5 million. So please release the ARC funding. So that's the negotiation we have to go through. So we have to now going for the hub agreement, and then UTS will raise the tax invoice to the industry partners, and then we will get the cash and we will discuss with ARC to officially start this project. So that's the next step. In the meantime, okay, you are the CIs, so you need to discuss with the partner organization. So Annex 0C, so it's already good template. You can see what's your project title, what's your project milestone, what's the budget you can utilize. So you need to discuss with your industry partner, cash contribution, in-kind contribution. So you can make sure that how much budget, how much milestone you have, what's the project, little bit of, not, it doesn't have to be very detailed, just a little bit of brief objectives. You can fill the form of your table. And then if your partner organization agree, you agree. Also, you can involve some of the in-kind contribution. For example, like Stefano, he will work with the urban utility and then Nutri solution, in-kind contribution, also some other organization. So they combine together and then put as a one project in Brisbane node. So in this case, Griffith University can be involved, or we can possibly separate. So depending on the Brisbane node discussion, yeah, we can think about what's the best way to separate agreement. Also, Bernadette, so she has her own industry partner, whether they will combine all together or just separate, or some of them combine or some of them separate. So we can think about what's the best way to pursue your project. And that's the next step we have to do. And Christine, okay, resigned this last month. So we are now is Leonard, he's helping the agreement. So if you have any question for the agreement stage, please contact him. In the meantime, yeah, we are looking for the best person to have this kind of eligibility of the hub manager. And then approved variation date for commencement of the hub is in July 2022. So officially, we are supposed to start our project 1st of August. But if we want to delay, so we need to officially ask ARC to have an extension of our project start. So if you're industry partner, I don't know if they want to delay your agreement, or if they maybe withdraw the project. So please let us know as soon as possible. So we have to look at the also alternative industry partner. So that's what's the current status of our project. Also nice logo. Stefano, we already discussed this one. So you are late, so you are not eligible to mention about this one. So we can have a separate discussion about this logo. So this is almost final version. If you have any comment, so can you please send the email to us, or do you have anything you want to comment now?
I like it.
Okay, that's great. So we will have a little bit of modification, and then Sharon can finalize this logo. Yeah.
Now, Sean, when you say, do you have any comments? I mean, I've got quite a few queries, but I'm A, mindful that we've got a packed schedule, and B, mindful that we will be having a meeting later on in the week. But I think some of my questions are possibly in alignment with other key CI's queries or concerns. So I don't know whether we raise them now or later, just in terms of having these discussions with our industry partners before things are signed, before we know how much money we're playing with, before they say what's in it for us, and whether we say there is some leverage funds or is there now not leverage funds. I think we'd all probably just like a little bit of clarity around that. But if you were moving into that discussion, then I'm sorry if I've jumped the gun. But
Okay.
otherwise, I think maybe just a little bit of clarity around what can we offer our industry partners. We don't want to burn the bridges if the goalposts are changing a little bit still. That'd be great to get clarity. And if you can't indeed give us clarity, then that's okay, just so we know though. Thank you.
So you want to know about the leveraging your funding, right? Based on your university matching fund from ARC, and how you want to leverage the industry funding cash contribution?
That's one of the questions. Are we still doing it? Is it still available? Is that still being offered? And the second one was, the last time we all spoke, you were quite keen on, we need more industry partners. We need to bring in more money. And I just want to, and I guess, so is that the case still as well or not?
Okay, that's
Thank you.
exactly connected with this slide, variations. So, okay, as I mentioned, we have 4 partner organizations that have been withdrawn. And then one is still on pending because the company is the M&A situation. So they cannot do any R&D confirmation whether there is support. So we are just waiting for 5 industry partner. Mostly, I think they would be not joining this project. So this is almost 4 industry partner, almost 50% of our cash contribution. One more is almost 55% or 60% of our cash contribution would be gone. And luckily, yeah, for last 8 months, yeah, we have been busy to attract more industry partner. That's the reason why we asked you to, okay, if you have any industry partners, so please join. Yep. And then some of them, yes, they haven't secured the funding. Some of them still, yeah. We cannot say at this stage, yes or no, 100% sure, because now this is confirmed the new industry partner. So Siontech, the Southeast Water, and the Pyroco, Logan City Council, Downer Hydrogen 2.0 Parkway. This is the water and the resource recovery company located in Melbourne. Together with the Victoria University, they have joined this ARC Hub very recently. So at this moment, if considering this one industry partner, Origin Water, so we have almost $1.7 million, $8 million, $1.8 million roughly. So this is our minimum threshold. But if this company withdraw, and then we are almost reached to our threshold, which means if one company may withdraw, and then we have to wait another 6 months to find the new industry partner. And then, because the reason why some of the company, as you can be seen, initially when you proposed our project, so it was about only urine and then fertilizer. Now it's everything changed a lot, because some of company, they are technology company, also Southeast Water, okay, they are interested in urine, but also some of company like Pyroco, Logan, Downer, Hydrogen, Parkway, they are more extended scope, like a resource recovery, like a biosolid or methane or anaerobic digestion, that kind of area. It's not exactly urine fertilizer topic. That's why we have to reduce the sum of the funding, because initially we supported a university, okay, some ISF people, Western Sydney University, Griffith University, Benedict, like a USQ, even when she didn't have any industry partner, yeah, we allocate some funding to involve this urine fertilizer project. So in fact, this funding is almost 800K. And then we have to allocate matching funds. So they are 80% ARC cash contribution. So we have to allocate 80%. So which means $1.5 million. So a lot of funding, 80% has to go directly for this research topic to the industry partner. Also, we need to have some of our research hub manager. The salary is almost $500,000 for 4 years. And then we plan to have 2 research postdoctoral research fellow in Brisbane Node and Sydney Node. So this is almost $1 million AS some research fellowship. Yeah, we have some funding from university, UTS, and ISF people. Also, you supported some of the PhD student support. But when you look at the whole budget, this AS funding is not enough. That's the reason why we are trying to negotiate whether now it's change the scope. So we need to change the little bit of ASC funding allocation. So we look at whether we can reduce the sum of the funding from PhD support, and then whether we can get some leverage funding from your university, just the PhD student matching fund. So that's the current status. So in fact, okay, you can bring your industry partner if you want to use your allocate the university AS funding. For example, you have some ASC funding for your PhD student support. In this case, you can leverage your AS funding. Also, you can leverage your PhD student from your university to negotiate with the industry partner. So you have a 100K from ASC, 100K from your university PhD student, 200K. So you can talk to industry partner. Okay, we have 200K. Okay, whether you are happy to involve 200K matching fund to support AS like a 200K cash contribution. So within your budget, okay, feel free to negotiate. We are happy to support within your budget. But if you need extra 80% AS matching fund, already we have used most of AS funding. So in fact, we are running out the budget to support center manager and the postdoctoral research fellow. Also, we have 3 international collaborators like USA and then Switzerland and Korea. So 3 of them, we are also planning to support 10K for each organization to support their own way of the traveling and then some of the support organizing this workshop. So we have some of the budget we have to spend here and there. So we are lack of the budget situation. So if you want to have a new industry partner, yes, you can, but you can utilize your own budget allocation. That's the best way. If you need more from our main AIC hub budget, so we have to look at very carefully, because today also Jason will mention about some council, the Blue Mountain Council. They are very much interested in involve this project, but we don't have enough funding to match 80%. We are not sure how we can negotiate this funding support. Like Jason has ISF some allocation of the funding, so he can leverage this funding. Also, we can think about how we can utilize the UTS funding to support. So we will see what's the best way to support your industry cash contribution. But at this moment, if possible, yeah, we don't want to support 80% anymore, because we are already spend more than what we could spend. That's the current status. Yeah. Stefano, yeah. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to suggest that if new partners come to join existing projects, the leverage funds are already there, because we already have funds for those projects. So we should be focusing on attracting partners to join existing projects where we already have some funding allocated. And then we can tell new partners, this is your leverage. And, you know, that would be very attractive to them. If instead they want a new project, I think new projects are a problem. We can't.
Okay, that's good clarity. Thank you, Stefano and Sean. Right, so there is some leveraging for existing projects.
The
I
leverage
mean-
is already there. I mean, it's already allocated. So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. For example, for the pilot project in Brisbane,
Yep.
I got 200 from urban utilities, 100 from Melbourne, and nearly 300 matching for the RC. If some new partner comes in and say put in 100, then I can let them know we can match you at 600 because that's what's already there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
not more dollars towards the new partners. So
No.
it's kind of like double dipping.
Yep.
but,
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
hope you understand this new industry partner because we tried to start our project and that we negotiate with so many industry partners for last 8 months. But most of industry partner during this pandemic, they have a lot of uncertainty to invest research funding. Also, they are very much not convinced to put a little bit of long-term investment. Urine fertilizer, still we have to go through a little bit of long-term investment so that the industry partner, they are reluctant to support the cash contribution so that we expanded to start our project in middle of this year. That was our last choice to have this many of industry partner, and then we negotiate 80% as funding within the resource recovery concept.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that for the 1720th time. I appreciate your patience with that, and of course, I do understand if we can't bring industry money in, we can hardly expect to get any back. But it is good to know that if we do bring some industry money in to an existing and aligned project, particularly, which we will try and do, given we've got some things that we have been written into being able to having to deliver, then there may be some leveraging opportunities there. So that's good. Thanks. That's all from me.
That's good. Thank you, Kara. And that's the variation at this moment. So I just want to skip this one because I tried to summarize the Nature paper which we shared last week. So just I will share it again for this Nature paper. If you have time, I strongly recommend that this article is very much useful for our future direction, as well as the future research opportunity we can design based on this justification. So one thing, this is the most important, our future research agenda was Kara and then Jason. So you can think about what could be the best way to achieve the best public perception. So this is the good starting information. So will people eat from the urine fertilizer food? So this is the 700 people, 16 countries. The average is 59%. So it looks like a very positive our world standard of the global average of the public perception of this urine fertilizer acceptance. So we don't have Australia data, unfortunately, here. So we can think about how we can convince our people and then let them make sure that our fertilizer is safe, and then they can also have our fertilizer grown food. So that's what I want to share. Also, this is the 4 scenarios. Already, we discussed a lot for last our project meeting. So Brisbane node, basically they are related to 1-2. It's like a storage tank and then direct use in the parkland or some of the agriculture, or they have a processing unit, their own developed UGOD processor, and then they can apply to the farm or city parkland. So that's the Brisbane node or some of the city parkland, and can focus on this 1-2. And UTS Sydney node, of course, it doesn't mean we are very much focused on this one. You can expand if you have an opportunity. So Sydney, we like to have a building existing our infrastructure, to collect urine and then convert and process, and we can just apply our fertilizer. So based on the this 1, 2, 3, 4. Also Melbourne, the Southeast Water, we are working together with them. They are also planning to do some of the building scale as well as the this city park level of the application of this urine collection and then processing. So if you have any planning to building level or just the city parkland level or just agriculture application level, so you can think about this kind of concept, and then we can collaborate. You feel free to collaborate with the Brisbane node, also Melbourne, as well as Sydney. So we can have incorporation of your project in one of our industry partners. So this is the public toilet. We have discussed with the City of Sydney. Also, I think Jason will discuss about the Blue Mountain City Council project. And this is our building level of urine processing nice hub project. So UTS ISF, we are planning to utilize the existing our infrastructure of the UTS building, and then we will expand this one a little bit larger scale and produce our fertilizer as a concentrated fertilizer or just as it is diluted fertilizer. We are planning to collaborate with the Western Sydney University, Jeff. So we will see what's the level of his experiment, possibly soil impact or hydroponic impact. So we can provide the fertilizer produced from our university, and then he can test his own plants. That's what we could design. Also, Southeast Water, City of Sydney, they look at some of the city parkland. Also, they can apply our fertilizer. Also, OCP, the Jason, they are fertilizer company. So we can think about how we provide this one to sell in the Bunnings or some of the fertilizer company as just a promotional model. So that's what we also looking at. Also, this is the Royal Botanic Garden. Possibly we can demonstrate some of our plan. And this is the origin water. Still, it's not 100% sure. We initially planned to make a scale up for this plan, but now it's a little bit of uncertainty there. So we will look for maybe some alternative companies or some of the other alternative planning. So that's what we have to think about it. And BMCC, Jason will cover what we could possibly. So in fact, Sydney side, we can combine some project. Also, we can separate some project depending on the industry partner. So we will cover most of our research objective proposed in the ASC Nice Hub. So that's what we are planning to do for next couple of months to finalize the project agreement with the different, like WSU, Jeff, you can join our project together as one project, or you can separate some of project with Blue Mountain City Council, because that's the option. So Jason and we can also work together. Depending on what your preference, we can discuss together, and then we can have some kind of convenience to involve your project. Because if you create a project without any cash contribution or serious cash contribution, it's additional our workload. So we want to reduce as much as we can. But of course, if you want, we want to generate a project for you, but we prefer to reduce the number of projects within this research hub. So what's the next everybody can finalize the hub agreement, and then you can also ask your industry partner to finish, and we can have a project detail together and CIPI meeting. So we are also planning to have some project meetings. So Brisbane Node already, Stefano have organized several meetings, and Sydney Node, Jason and Jeff, and we will also organize our own way of the meeting, how to create the project, big project, and then collaborative project together. So feel free to organize your own meeting. Even Stefano can organize with Jeff, and they have some, if you need any support from Jeff, so you can invite. It doesn't mean Brisbane Node, Sydney Node, and Melbourne Node. We don't have to completely separate. If you need any support, yeah, feel free to work together. And that's what I have prepared today meeting. So any questions? Yes, Bernadette, please.
Hey, Sean, thanks for that update. With regard to the time frame, I'm aware that with the 3 PIs that I'm in the process of still onboarding, that I'm hoping to wrap them up in the next 2 weeks or so, and definitely by the end of March. When do you look to bring the CIPI meeting? When is that scheduled? When do you think in terms of time frame?
We prefer to have when we get the most of agreement up to project agreement, because now project agreement you need to talk to industry partner, so you have to organize with your industry partner project, and then you can just sign, and then it'll be just completed. So we need to collect every industry partner for the project agreement.
Yeah.
And then we will open for CIPI all the meeting together, and we can have a discussion, okay, what you are doing and what we will do and how they will collaborate. Otherwise, if they know before we sign the project agreement, I'm sure that their expectation will be much bigger than what we expected.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it will be very difficult because they have a very high demanding here
Correct.
and there.
Yeah.
So we just to give you, okay, you have your own industry partner. Okay, if you need any support, just let us know. We will give you support. Otherwise, you can create the project detail, project agreement within your scope.
Yeah.
And then just to complete your project agreement, if so, everything is done. So you don't have to do anything in the meantime. So you can start project. In the meantime, we will combine all the project agreement, and then officially we will have a launching and then project meeting, because they will not change officially in the agreement, but unofficially they can collaborate with other industry partner or CI. So that's much easier for you.
And like you mentioned, we're already having our meetings for the Brisbane Node around that particular project. And so for me, I guess the 3 PIs I've brought on in terms of Pyro Caldana and Logan City Council, they all have a common aim and expectations on the project. So it makes sense that they all, they're going to form one project, and that so long as you're happy for me to continue to work on that, obviously there won't be any need for others to be involved in it. And I guess that they will only ever be, invited to be part of the larger project once we do the official launch in August.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think on just that note, given that when you put up that slide around the different PIs, and that it's actually going to bring in some different aspects which are not just simply year own diversion and have a broader scope, it would be useful to know how these other, I guess, satellite projects are going to feature in the overall vision of the hub. I mean, and when I look at the logo, for instance, I'm quite happy with it because, you know, you have your own job, but then you also have the picture of the leaf and, you know, soil. And in that, I'm happy with that because it does encompass and captures the essence of what the project on the biosolids derived biochar, you know, emulates. So that's fine, but it'd be useful to obviously work with you to make sure that the other projects and PI's interests are also captured in the overall vision of the hub.
Absolutely. That's the reason why we have agreed to support Victoria University. They are exactly what you are trying to achieve. So we will marry up, like we are, okay, urine team and the overall biosolid team and the anaerobic digestion, and that they are all together with the circular economy for nutrients.
Yeah.
So that's exactly, so sometimes, yeah, we can have a balanced project discussion and the submitting. So I'm sure that we are very much keen to also, because your topic is more scale up, TRL 7 or 8, it's a much more higher TRL level compared to the urine. So I think that you can go first to more development and the research scale up, and the urine topic also we can follow up. So that's the well balanced project we can discuss together how we can manage your part and our part. They are all important. It doesn't mean our project is the urine. It doesn't mean we just exclude your project. So we will try to how can balance at any time. Yeah, you can lead. That's what it is.
I'm not sort of.
Next meeting, we will invite Michael, and we can have a discussion together.
Yeah. I knew that, and look, I'm understanding that. This process takes a while, but you know, in the same time, we need to wrap it up so that obviously there's no delay, and that I understand that it will take a while, and that there's, you know, a period of, you know, just be patient, and then we'll develop that vision. I have no problems with that, and I'm confident, so it's all good.
Okay. Also, you feel free to work with Jeff or Stefano or Cara. They are all related to this topic, so it can be, yeah, we can collaborate together. Okay, thank you, Bennett. Any other questions from other CIs? Also, meeting, if we all agree, we can organize maybe every 3 months for the key CI, and then CI meetings. We will organize meetings separate, like a Jeff, and we have a Jason there, another Jason, not our ISF Jason. So we can have a meeting within the Sydney research project agreement related to some kind of discussion. So I'm happy to organize with Jeff and Jason, Donna, Brent, and then all the Sydney related to some project people. So we can have a more project agreement, so easy to work together. So that's the Brisbane node exactly doing, the Stefano is doing very well with the Brisbane side. Also Sydney side, I will also engage with the other CI, but we will not organize altogether PI-CI. We will just focus on the project related to the CI PI meeting, and then you can take care of them until we have officially start, and we will get together and then have a meeting. So that's the best way. So maybe we can have a meeting in April or May after this meeting, so we can keep following up what's going on and then how we can further collaborate. That's I want to focus on initially KCI meeting. Next time we can organize with also Victoria University, Michael, because he's not officially involved yet. That's the reason why we have not asked him to join this meeting. Okay. So that's all from me, Shahrukh.
Okay, Sean. Yeah, so we're 26 minutes.
Right.
But anyway, we have quite a lot of buffer because most of the things we discussed, and I think looks like maybe we may not have much to discuss at the end, so that should be fine. So So I will send the, I would say, doodle options for meeting in April or May, right? So for the next key CI meetings. Okay, so next is Dr. Stefano from Melbourne. So you can make your presentation, please.
I have to enable me to share.
Okay. Just hold on. Okay. Co-host. Yes.
You can change the settings for these meetings to make it easier, like if you like. So how's that? Trying to maximize. Does it work? Did it come through?
Yes, you can see that.
Good. I just had a problem in class a couple of hours ago. So I'm just supposed to using this to double check. All right, so because we're late, I'll just go at the speed of light and just present not the Brisbane node, because the Brisbane node is a complex beast involving so many different partners and institutions, but the Melbourne projects as part of NICE. So similar to the way Sean presented, highlighted a few projects that will be run out of Melbourne, with industry partners being Urban Utilities, AJJ Tech, and Nutritech, where Urban Utilities is the only cash contributing partner organization. So project 1.1, quantification and stream effects of urine separation. Sean had that highlighted too, rightfully, because as indicated in the original proposal, we'll both be studying different aspects of this. This would be a PhD project funded by NICE, well, with the scholarships provided by University of Melbourne. Then project 2.1, upscaling and field demonstration of the UGOL technology. This is at the heart of the Brisbane node, and it will be a postdoc project, although I'm still working to fully fund the postdoc for 3 years. And then project 3.1, modifying technology configurations to produce tailored fertilizers. I have a PhD on that, but at the moment I'm funding them separately using my own funding because there's not enough funding to run it through NICE, although the results, the outcomes will be shared through the NICE platform. So it's just that I had to find some additional funding on my own to be able to fund the project. But the PhD student has a scholarship, so it's really not major. So that's the key. So the first and the third are smallish. The second one is biggish. So let's focus on this one. Upscaling and field demonstration is one of the two key trial sites, where the other one will be in Sydney. And so we're going really to try to upscale what we have to a system that can treat urine from 300 users, so 300 liters of urine per day, roughly, to make liquid fertilizers out of it using the UGOL technology. And we've studied that in the lab in a small scale with real urine, but we haven't done real world field trials where field is a toilet. And so we'll be looking at behavior and variations day, night, winter, summer, cleaning products, things people throw into the toilet that they shouldn't, and all that. And also we use this as an opportunity to take a staged approach to improve the technology of the period of 4 years. So we will be just modularizing the solution so that we install one module every year, and then every other year we'll install an additional module improved based on the knowledge that we create from previous modules. So there will be alpha, beta, gamma modules coming online, as also will be harvesting more and more urine over the years, as it's expected, because the site is expected to become busier and busier over a period of few years. So the pilot location is Brisbane Victoria Park. Don't say this outside of this meeting, and it's just really a sensitive topic, and so it's one of the sites for the 2032 Olympics, probably, and it will be a place that Brisbane want to showcase as a hub for community life and sustainability. And it's the Lord Mayor's own project. So there's a lot of sensitivities there, but it has been highlighted as a site which would be ideal because it's greenfield. It was a golf course until not too long ago. So perfect for doing new things. So the yellow square there is the site, and this has been identified as a place where potentially a lot of people would be visiting on a daily basis, and where we could potentially harvest up to 300 liters of urine a day by the end of the project. And so just to give you an idea, at the moment, we're not talking about something small. We're talking about an amenities block with about 10 pedestals. It would be ideally unisex type of toilet with the disabled toilet attached, and all of it will be urine separated, where we'll be able to try different models of urine separating toilets, and the urine falls directly into a tank under the structure, and from there goes into pilot system, and then we might do a demo garden nearby. But really the core of my project will be developing the pilot system and improving it over time by adding progressively improved modules to the system. So that's the best sketch I have of the system. So as I said, urine just falls into a holding tank vertically so that we don't have to deal with a lot of scaling issues. And then after the precipitates have fallen out at the bottom of the tank, the urine is pumped to a stack. Each of the modules in the stack is going to be one of the progressive modules. So year one will have one stack, and then we add stacks progressively, which should be improved year after year to go from 300 liters of urine to about 30 liters a day of liquid fertilizer, and also some hydrogen production on the side, which we'll want to quantify and even optimize because it's such a hot topic at the moment. So some budget, which as indicated by Sean, all budgets are pretty volatile at the moment, but this one is quite secure because Urban Utilities has confirmed the 200K a long time ago. And Melbourne will put in one PhD scholarship, actually two, but the second one is not counted because it's outside of NICE in theory. But yeah, it's a $100,000 pilot, which will attract similar cost for maintenance, and 1.5 year postdoc. There's just 0.5 FTE postdoc over the duration of the project. The other 0.5 FTE will be allocated to other things, but also will have to be funded accordingly by other things. So I'm currently in the process of talking with other potential partners to potentially fund the other half. But if somebody comes on board, as I mentioned before, I'll just tell them, look, we've got a $600,000 project. You put in 100, you get all the benefits from the existing projects. So your matching funds will be 6-to-1. So I think at this stage, we're not going to try to add new projects with new objectives. So that's the approach that I'm having. Also, because Griffith Uni has got some projects that are really closely aligned to this, then we could potentially combine also Griffith projects into one matrix to potentially make it even more attractive to new partners to come on board. But that, yeah, is really just dependent on what new partners are are going to come on board and what is their objectives and interest. So yeah, the other stuff was just technical stuff that I threw in there in case there was any interest or time, which we don't have. So I'll stop it here. And if you've got any questions about the projects out of Melbourne, feel free to ask, or if there's any suggestions.
So just
Yeah, like this-
wondering, Stefano, it's a very practical application of your project. So just wondering that, do you involve the Griffiths or USQ together or any other university or industry partner? Okay, you have UU and the Melbourne ARC funding. Also, how about Nutritech will be involved? Nutritech
Yeah, so
solution,
Nutritech-
AJJ.
AJJ
Yeah.
puts in only in kind, but it's towards producing the pilot at cost. So there's definitely some savings there by partnering with AJJA, but I just kept the budget based on cash. So Nutritech, AJJ, they don't put in any cash. So I haven't included them here. So we can also let them sign a separate agreement because there's no cash involved. So we don't have to include them here, but I will go with your advice on that if we want them to be under the same agreement when we put in Schedule 2, or if we want them on a separate agreement because it will be simpler that way.
If we have a separate agreement, so every project we have to follow up. Okay, project A, B, C, D, E, and then we need to follow up the budget. We need to follow up the project milestone and the progress report because ARC expect, okay, what project you have, and then what's the report, what's your KPI, and then milestone. So we need to, if you create the project with AJJ technology, yeah, we need to follow up individually.
Okay,
it's
so
like additional activity for our research help. So it's better to combine with some of your cash UU. Yeah, okay, you have already project with UU. So let them join the project. Then
So
let them sign.
that-
Let them sign together. You have to let them sign together, if possible.
Yeah. So how does that work? Because each one signs a separate umbrella agreement, and then we're going to try to combine them on a Schedule 2 only. So how
Okay,
does that work?
that's what I understood is if I work with you and me, and then okay, Sydney Water or UU. So if we want to work together for organization in one project, so four organization has to sign at the last page of your Annex C. So Melbourne University, UTS, and then UU, and then Southeast Water. So we have to, if we have one project with this four organization, we need to sign together. But if you just, okay, we want to have only UU because UU, they are very much afraid of some of the conflict of interest or some of the IP issues. So, okay, you can separate in this case, but we don't want to let them create the one project without any cash contribution from the industry partner. So
Okay, no, makes sense.
Yeah, okay, let them sign the hub agreement. So in this case, in-kind contribution, AJJ technology or Nutritech solution, they don't have to sign any project agreement. Just to leave as it is, so they don't know exactly what project they are involved, but they can be invited over a project discussion and the meeting, but they are not really officially involved. What's the detail of the project for their delivery? So that's the difference. So if they feel like, oh, I'm not engaged with one project, so whether industry partner is happy to continue, or
Yeah.
okay, they just want to stop the.
So, but the question is, they all might request minor changes to the agreement, the umbrella agreement, but then Annexure C is attached to the agreement. So if now you're combining 3 or 4, each one had some minor changes here and there, they all have to come to an agreement to one form of the agreement. So
Okay, you have minor comment. So if you have some different organization has a different minor comment, it doesn't have to fix every time. You know, we have a 20 organization, so you have some minor comment from here and there. Everybody basically, in principle, you have to sign the same hub agreement. So here we are saying hub agreement means the participation agreement. So you sign the hub agreement. It's like a general, like IP issue. Okay, we are happy to involve with this cash contribution, in-kind contribution. And then this agreement, everybody same, every organization same. And okay, some of the organization, they want to change. Okay, we want to change this phrase. And then you can change at your project agreement stage. At the project agreement, at the last row of the table, you will see which agreement condition and term you want to change. So you can address at the last row of your Annex C table. So we don't want to deal with every industry partner or organization small change. It goes to the project agreement. So they can put their own way of the request. So we don't touch the hub agreement. So we will release the hub agreement. So you have to say, don't touch the hub agreement. You just sign or not. If you want to change, okay, you can change at the project agreement stage. If it is not really serious change, most of them are just a little bit of addition of your comment or some of the IP, like, okay, they want to phrase a little bit of their easy plain English of the IP, they will keep it in the Annex C. So it's in this case, as long as the overall hub agreement concept is not changing, so we are accepting to include in the project agreement at the last row. So if you see your agreement at the last page and last row of the table, Annex C, you will see, do you want to change the terms or condition in the hub agreement? So you can change that part. So that's what we want to deal with all the industry partners.
okay, so you suggest I only send them an extra C and then just for initial review, because yeah, I mean, otherwise the time goes and we'll be approaching our deadline.
You're right. So yeah, you can start to create your project detail and then let them sign for the hub agreement. At the same time, they can sign the project agreement. It doesn't matter. But as a UTS point of administrative work, we need hub agreement first to secure the funding from the industry cash, and then negotiate with ARC to release the funding. And then project agreement, you can do today, or maybe
so we don't have
even
to
after launching of the project, you can do project agreement because this is a little bit flexible.
Okay.
Do you understand me?
So we don't have to have them all done and signed by end of July. Okay. You're
right. So allocation will be delivered a little bit later, but okay. But the most of like industry partner UU, they want to sign maybe, okay, I want to see detail of your project and the budget allocation. So if they really insist this kind of situation, so you can submit together with your Annex C. But you can tell them, okay, you don't have to worry about project at this moment. Just sign this overall agreement, IP, and then some of the reporting and then some conflict of interest. Very general, it's like a very common agreement. So let them sign. I'm sure that it will be much easier. Let them sign this hub agreement. But if you give them together with project agreement, so they will start to negotiate. Okay, we need more funding support. We need more project change. We need more, so many negotiations you have to deal. So if you can negotiate such a way, yeah, it's okay. But best way is don't mention about project agreement. just to go for hub agreement. The project agreement you can do after they sign. It will be much easier.
But that's the question that always comes back. They're gonna ask, where's the funding allocation table, and that's what they're gonna know. They want to know.
So in this case, you can tell them as an email communication. Also, I'm happy to be involved. Like, okay, you are already secure this matching fund, then university, and then that's the informal email. We can guarantee that. But if they want a more detailed, like a project agreement together, so you have to do that. But it will take much longer than what we expected. That's the difference.
Okay, sounds good. And I think, yeah, regarding the refit and USQ question, I think that we could also combine into even larger agreement, only if it brings benefits in terms of securing more partners. Otherwise, we're better off, each one dealing with our own partners and closing them off. And certainly for the biosolid story, it has to be separate. And USQ's involvement on this side of the story may have to come here, but then you have to deal with two sets of agreement on your end, which is also annoying. So I don't know what the best would be.
So, Sean, I'd imagine that there's only one agreement that USQ will have to sign, which is the overarching head agreement, and that what we're going to be doing is like just different Annexure C agreements. So, Stefano, I'd imagine that we would be involved in that Annexure C, is that right? Or do we actually have to do two now?
Okay. Let me clarify one more time to everybody. So you can see that this is the agreement. Yeah, it's exactly, everybody confused. So we want to make it clear. So you can ask anytime, because also we are keep negotiating with our university research office. So this is the budget. Okay, so you can see all the agreements. So we got some comment from different organizations. So we will give you the final budget. So you can ask your industry partner or also your university, Benedict, you sign this one, half agreement.
Yeah.
So this is So forget about everything. So just to sign this hub agreement.
Yeah.
First step.
This is what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and then second step, we will mention about this Annex C.
Yeah.
And then if you want to change, industry partner, if they want to change, so they want to change here, any special condition which differ from the terms of research hub agreement. So even though they sign research hub agreement, just tell them if you want to change, don't change in our template. Okay, they want to add some of the change in this project agreement. So what we are trying to do, everybody let them sign hub agreement. So every partner organization and university. And we don't mention about funding at all. We just let them sign. Okay, they are happy to be involved this project. Yeah. And then they have a cash contribution, in-kind contribution already when they provide a letter and then some of the ASC application. That's exactly condition. Every industry partner is very clear how much they will contribute, cash and in-kind. So that's the overall they sign. And then next step is this agreement. So they have to fill this one. And they will change the sum of the budget here and then some of the flexibility. Also Stefano and then USQ, other organization can be involved as one project agreement together, maybe 4 organizations or 5 organizations. That's fine if you feel that's much easier for you. But if you feel, okay, it's better to separate, so you can create the project number and then project name. So we need to follow up separate project because this will give you the KPI, what's your objective, AIC progress report. We have to keep reporting annually. And then also we need to keep following up the KPI. So that's the reason why only in-kind contribution, partner organization do not let them have only one separate agreement. Just to let them combine with the other project together with your cash contributed industry partner. So that's what we, and they will sign the one more project agreement at the last page for your project agreement. So that's how it works.
Sean, can I ask a question here?
Yeah,
Just to be very, very clear. So I'm very clear. So this is for an individual project agreement with an individual organization. Say, for example, so ISF is leading O2, which is engagement, learning, and communication in NICE.
Yeah.
Are we still creating one of these for O2 and then getting all the different people who are involved to sign one of these project agreements? Or are we only doing these project agreements for the projects which aren't listed in the application?
Okay, we prefer to have listed in our AIC hub or partner organization, especially, okay, you want to do your economic or public perception, education related topic. So is any industry partner organization support cash or not? It's like a BMCC, like
Okay,
a Blue Mountain.
so
if they are Blue Mountain, so they put the cash. So in this case, that's fine. We can put together with technology as well as your economics and the public engagement related to research topic together, rather than if you don't have cash contribution from industry, it's better not to create the one project, because without cash, you have to deliver the official project for the project. That's why KPI. So it's a little bit difficult for you.
I understand what you're saying. My question was slightly different to that, which is, this is, so say Blue Mountain City Council, we bring in the 100, 200,000 we're thinking might come in or something like that. We could have an independent annexure C for Blue Mountain City Council for a project around it. But my thinking is we might not do an independent project with Blue Mountain City Council. We might weave them into O2 and 1.3, for example. So are we doing these annexure C for project 1.3 and O2?
I think that it doesn't really matter as long as you have already, we are in the project situation. So you don't have to keep delivering O2 1.3. So that's your objective. You are supposed to deliver this project, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, okay, now we have a project scope delivery changed because of the industry partner, because of our project CI chain. So now, okay, initially when you proposed 2 years ago, yes, you are supposed to do O2 1.3. Now it's changed a lot because of so many pandemics, so many different scenarios, so many. So, okay, you don't have to worry about this scope. Okay, now we deliver the project, which the Blue Mountain City Council is the major interest. So they like to do this one. So, okay, you forget about O2 1.3. So you can generate the new project based on your interest as well as the ASC and industry partner.
As long as it somehow crosses over with those objectives, which were projects which are now objectives, is what I'm understanding you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. It's flexibly you can change a little bit of your scope.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could possibly, but there's going to be a need to scope a project which is called integration and communication.
Absolutely.
So,
That's the reason
yep.
why. Okay, we combine together with engineering and then ISF people.
Yep.
So we will help you technology demonstration. You will have some of the different aspect. Also, if you need any support from our technology aspect, so we are
Yep.
happy
Okay.
to also help you out.
Okay.
That's the we can.
But what I'm understanding is that once we've scoped that project up, it doesn't need to be in this formal format.
Not really doesn't have to do.
This is only when we have an individual person, basically an
Absolutely.
individual organization contributing a lot of money, and we need to make an individual agreement with them. Other than that, it's really us. We probably do a template indirect, which is not formal, but sits behind the scenes.
Yes, that's correct. As long as
Okay.
Okay. In fact, we already have a proposal in our AIC application.
Yeah.
So in fact, we don't have to make a very detailed individual project agreement, and then you don't have to mention about very detailed of the project justification and the
Okay.
background. As long as the industry partner, okay, they are convinced. Okay, we will do objective 1, 2, 3, or even objective 1. If industry partner happy, and you are happy, and then this Annex C can be done. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be so much detail because our overall project is proposal is already ready in our application.
Okay.
So basically, we follow this one, but this is a little bit of insurance for the industry partner because they want to know how much they will get, how much they will support, and then how they will deliver. That's for industrial project agreement, we are creating this one. So you don't have to make another very detailed research project, just very broad way of the project will be fine from this level.
Yeah, no, I understand now. So we're not doing this in XSC. If we don't create an independent project for Blue Mountain City Council, but absorb them into other projects, we're not doing this in XSC for Blue Mountain City Council.
If they don't really put the cash contribution, right?
Oh, if they do a cash, okay. If they do a cash contribution,
if they cash, and then they like to have a individual agreement project delivery. So I think you have, because you have to also satisfy your industry partner. So Blue Mountain, if they want to do, okay, we can create the one individual project for them.
Okay. So maybe I think I'm next. I'm just looking at the time. So should I just give an update of where I'm up to, or?
How about Sharon? Yeah, Sharon is.
Next, Jason, next is yours. So maybe we can continue your presentation then. Yeah, I think you should be okay because we'll have not much to discuss later on because we already discussed.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, I don't have a PowerPoint today because I was creating a PowerPoint for this morning for Blue Mountain City Council over the past couple of days. But what I'll do is I'll give an update. So obviously, I've already, and Kara can also refer to this as well, but I've already, because there's quite a crossover between what Kara is doing and what we're doing at ISS, I've already had a conversation with Kara previously because some of our projects in our research areas are very close. And so we're sort of, I suppose the position we're in is we didn't go straight ahead and just create everything at this point because we're trying to work across different people, different CIs and things to try and coalesce and understand what we're doing together. I suppose just from what I am now understanding is we've just been in communication with Sean and others about reducing the number of PhDs, which we're going to have. So I think we now have 2, we had 3, so we're reducing that down. That affects obviously our overall scope. So we won't be doing as much on different projects. I think similar to Stefan, we're looking at putting the 2 PhDs we have at key points on key objectives to address them. So We'll be putting, we don't know where one of the PhDs will be going, and where we were talking with Cara, because it obviously depends where she's putting her students, because there's balancing, a bit of a balancing act here going on now that we only have 2. So we'll obviously have one on the project, what was called Project O2, because we need a PhD student which is engaged in that overall circular economy, trying to understand the challenges which are occurring between all the different players. How we're looking at positioning that PhD with overview from people at ISF is through the summits. So the summits is where all the players will come together, and the student will map the complexity of challenges that are emerging through the circular economy at the various different sites. Sorry, I'll just drink something for a second. And then it will be about balancing some of the other projects. For example, Cara is focusing more on O1, possibly with a PhD student, whilst we might be able to focus a bit more, for example, on 1.3 with a PhD student, which is the design component. In the back, so that gives you an idea, and that's why I was asking, because we will be scoping up some of these projects and themes, because obviously the things like the integration one, we need to know how it's going to occur through the hub, even if it doesn't have that official part C. And I was going to talk to Sean soon about, because I know there's things like chief scientist money for those events and summits, so we can start to think about how all that weaves together to support the integration. The thing which we know about that integration is it's more of an overall project, and it really is, everyone's involved, but it really doesn't have a singular funder, if that makes sense, because it is about that overall integration. We've been approaching some of our partners. So Organic Crop Protectant, has agreed to do, very interestingly, is going to do a feasibility study, basically to transition, how do we actually market the fertilizer through, for example, depending on quantities and things like that, through Woolworths or Bunnings or that sort of thing. We're just waiting on him to get confirmation from Dulux, the owner company, and it will be distributed through, it'll be processed through Yates, which is one of their subsidiaries. So that fits well with that overall integration project, because it's really about how all the other products that are being created could be marketed or sold. So that has to obviously be talked to other people here. The other one is, and obviously Black Summer's gone, which is a shame because they've just changed total direction. And the other one is Blue Mountain City Council, which we're involved in. They're looking at, Sean and I were talking to them today. They're very eager. They're looking at contributing infrastructure, cash and in kind, and looking at doing site location. I've already talked to Jeff partly about this briefly earlier. And Jeff, just so you know, I didn't invite you to the meeting today because I was just trying to keep it to a certain size. It can get too many, but your name has been continuously mentioned through the process, and they're very eager. And so Sean and I are now going up to just talk to them about the site up there, the feasibility, what it would approximately cost, and it looks like they'll come on board as a partner. I still don't know. I mean, we might develop a project around them, but I would like to see it more as a stream of one of the, or two of the key other projects in a sense. And maybe even OCP being incorporated into that. So nothing, because OCP is not supplying cash only in kind. It's going to, and they're just asking permission at the moment to do the cost. Basically, they're going to put money into the feasibility study within the OCP. So at this stage, that's where we've sort of got to, and I only got permission from our director today to reduce the PhDs. So I haven't been really scoping projects until I knew that fact, obviously. And obviously now seeing there was a lot more clarity. Kara asked some good questions today, and that was very clear. I'm now getting that very clearly. We did have, for example, Koroma, possibly we were going to approach them, but we already know they're going to expect one-to-one. And so it might be better not to approach them at this stage. And so we were waiting to hear the conversation today to understand that. And so did anyone have any questions at this point? But I mean, the major thing I think for ISF is how we make all these projects manageable within the restrictions of our capacities, as everyone else here is probably restricted in capacity. So running several of them with these student PhDs as core is going to help a lot.
Jason, I have a question.
Yes.
So now, you were based on the talks that you have with Sean and us. You have talked to your director and agreed to reduce the one PhD, but now you're still anyway trying to get more funding from industry. So for example, Blue Mountains may invest, and maybe some other say OCP may invest. So, but is it possible that you can get back the PhD? No, because it's, even though you bringing the even though it's not exactly ARC money, but it's a part of this hub money, the industry. So, is it no way that Stuart will give you back that PhD because you're still bringing money from hubs in it?
Sorry, that I didn't. So I understood that the PhD was being removed to enable the hub to progress. So that's how I've argued it within ISF, based on our last conversation. If are you saying, in a sense, if Blue Mountain City Council gives $100,000, can that $100,000 be used for a PhD, for example?
You can. Yeah. My question is, of course, you will use that 100,000 for Blue Mountain, right? But can't you use that as a leverage to Stuart? Okay, I'm bringing more money from the hub, even though it doesn't mean that ARC has to contribute, but it's once industry gives money to the hub, it becomes part of the hub money, right? So hub money is coming back to ISF. So you use that as a leverage to, okay, I'm bringing more money now, so can you give me that PhD instead of canceling? So because anyway you have to scope separately for Blue Mountain, right?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I can possibly talk to Stuart about that.
Yeah.
Obviously the challenge, I don't know the challenge there in how it is calculated, the income, because I mean, when it's ARC dollar for ISF contribution, it's read, it's the way it's read in the income is different to if it's ISF balancing an external income fund. I mean, category 1 is very different to the council contributing. That's not category 1. That's probably category, I think, 3 or 2 or something.
But this, okay, but this will be like a hub money, isn't it? It becomes, because the money will be deposited to the hub. So the hub, okay, it doesn't become like a separate agreement with the ISF, but this is agreement with the hub. So which means,
okay. So sorry. Maybe this is a conversation we have. There's 6 people here at the moment. 7. Sorry. Maybe this is a conversation I could have with you and Sean later, because I understood we had to reduce the PhD to enable the hub to progress. And now you're saying we can bring that PhD back. It's getting slightly confusing. So maybe it's better to have the discussions about those dynamics offline, and just not waste everyone's time here. That makes sense. Unless everyone else is happy to discuss it here, of course.
I think that Jason, because still another industry partner is still not certain. So what I can suggest, you have already AS funding, you have a PhD student. In fact, you have already some funding to leverage it with the Blue Mountain City Council. Yeah, that's the exactly, just go ahead. You don't have to, okay, additional or whatever. Don't forget about that at this moment. Just to, already you have enough leverage funding, PhD student, AS funding, Blue Mountain cash can be combined. So just go ahead, and then we will, yeah, if the project is bigger, like Jeff is possibly involved this Blue Mountain City Council project together because they are interested in soil impact as well as the some of the plant application in the Blue Mountain UNESCO Heritage Area. So that that's the one of the, we can combine like Jeff UTS technology. Jeff is the plant application. Jason will be more about your orchestra, this funding project, and then we are helping you, and then Jeff will helping you. So ISF can lead this project. That's the possible way we can think about for your, also you can combine the 0213 here to make sure some of the your delivery.
Yeah. That's what we're looking at. So I mean, we're not looking at individual projects all over the place, trying to bring it together as coherently as possible.
Right.
And why obviously we're online, it's probably good to mention to Jeff, we're organizing a visit to the Blue Mountain City Golf Course where they want to put the demonstration site. And so we might, I'll send you an email about that because we might try and find the date when you can come up as well. They want to do it as soon as possible. So.
It'll be easy for me to join most days. It's just 10 minutes down the road that way. So
okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And I should have said that one of the major things for Blue Mountain City Council, which is very interesting for myself and also links in with what Kara is doing, they have a focus in their strategic plan on planetary and human health. So this project we're developing, some of the outcomes will be focused on that as well.
Any more questions for Jason?
Thank you, Jason.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. So maybe you can go to next. I think next is Kara. So I'm not sure, Kara, are you able to present or?
No, I'm not equipped to present at this late stage. I'm sorry, but I can certainly talk a little bit to the to where we're up to.
Yes, no problem. Please.
Thank you. Just in my car, and everyone keeps looking oddly at me as they walk past. So as Jason mentioned, we have had a bit of a chat together because some of our projects are very well aligned. They kind of nicely fit into each other without repeating, obviously. So I wasn't aware of that PhD thing, but that's fine. We can talk through that. But I think it's great that it's good that Jason and I have had that initial chat. So and I haven't got any of the project names in front of me because my computer's down. But so we are the progress we've made is really trying to secure the PhDs. So they're like most projects, they're the ones that are going to do a lot of the work for us. So we have 2 PhDs allocated for this project, one from Griffith Uni and one from the Hub. Now, Professor Anne Royko will be leading the health-based risk assessment, so the quantitative microbial risk modelling, and we are looking to engage a PhD for that work, and looking to do that across Brisbane and Sydney, the two main projects there, because obviously I think there's going to be different health-based risks for each place, and if we can try and capture both rather than just focusing on Brisbane. So I should say with all our work, just because we are located in Brisbane, very much a part of this whole of system analysis of this work we're looking at. We're keen to include both Brisbane and Sydney. So that will be and is negotiating to look for a PhD with that one. The other one that we are looking at in terms of the chemical analysis of the urine, and then the safety and the fate of contaminants in that respect. We were originally doing that, and then when there was some reduced funding, we did indicate that we would not have the capacity to do that, as well as the economic analysis with SIDE, as well as working with some of the social aspects and regulatory stakeholder engagement, etc. So we are looking to leverage an industry PhD through Griffith Uni and Brisbane City Council to have a look at the chemical aspects. So there's two. There's microbial and the chemical aspects of the safety of using, collecting, handling, and applying the liquid urine as a fertiliser. So we're a little bit up in the air as to whether we'll be able to deliver both microbial and chemical analyses, given the fairly tight budget and resources, as we're all aware of. So we will keep you informed with that. We're very keen to have Brisbane City Council. I think obviously without them, other regulatory hurdles or challenges that we've made really positive headway with actually in our Brisbane node meetings, I think will be a little bit in jeopardy unless we've got Brisbane City Council on board. So hopefully we can negotiate. We have got some agreement of some cash support there. But again, offline, Sean, we need to talk about some of that being leveraged through the hub just to really get the hook in and get Brisbane City Council on board, because I think it's absolutely vital for them to be on board. The other big project is obviously the whole of economics, the whole of system economics for both Brisbane and Sydney, well, all of the hub. And Associate Professor Syed Iftikhar is running that. He has engaged a PhD, or we're just about to engage a PhD. We obviously can't sign anything yet until there's clarity around the favourite topic of agreements and so on and so forth, but I'm sure we'll get there. That's fine. Again, we're hoping to leverage that through an industry PhD with Queensland Water. We secured a small cash contribution for each year of our PhD, looking at that whole of system economics. Again, we're just looking for some opportunities or just to have that promise of leverage money fulfilled through the hub. So we'll continue to negotiate there, but that will allow us to get. So the idea is, as we all know, of these industry PhDs is that we get a good quality candidate who can do a lot of the work, given that a lot of us are in kind, who can do a lot of the on-the-ground work. So we are keen to try and attract the best possible candidate for that. The third area that we're mainly involved in is my kind of area, which is looking, as Jason said, working around community acceptance, public perceptions, willingness to use toilets, and then the fertiliser, so the manufacturing industry side as well as the community side. So we're looking to, Jason and I will continue to talk about where best we might be able to align with some level of working collaboration on a PhD there, but it's obviously a bit flexible and open at the moment. The other thing is the regulatory challenges, or the regulatory hurdles, or we use that's fairly negative kind of way of putting that, isn't it, is mainstreaming all of the regulations required around collection and treatment and application and use of liquid urine as a fertiliser. And we've had some really positive talks with our Brisbane guys, our Brisbane regs around that, Department of Environment and Science and Energy and Public Works, Brisbane City Council, Queensland Health. They're all seeming to be very amenable, very keen. We've just lucked in, I think, with my experience, that you either have the luck of getting a champion who's slightly recalcitrant in state government to help push these things along, or you hit a roadblock first up. And we're lucky with the former. I think we've got some good people in government who get closing the nutrient loop and get all of that. And they're really happy to work with us to change the amendment to allow non-watermarked toilet equipment to be used, but also to allow land application and handling and treatment of the urine. So we're looking to progress those regulatory processes as well. But a lot of all of this will just be slightly on hold until we can get just a little bit more clarity around our final contractual agreement around all those boring things like money and so on and so forth. But we're certainly we're certainly moving in the right direction there. That's kind of all I have to report at this stage.
Thank you, Cara. So, any question for John?
So regarding your project agreement, definitely we can have offline discussion about your industry partners.
Yep.
So do you have your own industry partner as a project individual agreement you want to make, or you want to involve some other project?
I don't think, given what you've said, I don't want to create any new projects that aren't existing in the proposal that we've been written into addressing. So whether it's going to be an Annexure C or not, at this stage, if they're going to be, there's going to be two probably. Water Corporation were very interested as well through SIAD. But again, I think that was based on the understanding that there would be some leverage money there. So we need to just kind of nut that one out. So I would imagine there'd be three in terms of that Annexure C. I think if I'm understanding your question, they would be the same projects that would align with what's written in the proposal, nothing too different, but whether they need to be, but we'll still complete them. And yeah, so we'll add those to that Annex C. I think if that's, well, we'll have another word with Bridget and see what, and also what happens when we talk in the next couple of days. Is that what you would advise, Sean?
Yeah, as long as you have Water Corporation contribute cash, better to have individual agreement to follow up your progress and the industry partner, because industry partner, if they don't really get updated clearly after 1 year, they don't want to support any more cash, and then we have to find another 6 months for the new industry partner. So if we don't have enough the matching fund for the threshold of the cash contribution, so it's very difficult for whole project. So it's better to clear what we will do, and then they agree, and then you just let them keep progress updated. Otherwise, it'll be whole project will be a little bit in danger.
Okay. All right. Sure, that's good. Thank you. We'll do that as they come through. As we get the confidence for everything to get signed off on, we'll do those separate project agreements. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so if you have no question for Cara, so then we can go to next speaker, Jeff. So floor is yours, Jeff.
Thanks, Sharp. So we're in a similar boat here. So initially, the uni was going to contribute. Bernadette, do you want to go? Just write your note in the chat.
Yeah, I just have to leave. Can you hear me? I just took my headphones out. Is there hang on.
Yeah, could hear you, no worries.
So I've just got my audio through the laptop. Is everybody able to hear? Yeah, okay, yes. Thank you. Yeah, I just got another meeting in 5 minutes. But you just wanted me to provide a bit of an update or
that is fine.
Yeah, look, so from my side, obviously we have our central, the core participation in the hub will be remain as our investigation into the Brisbane node and the agronomic trials, obviously. So our research investigations in there haven't changed at all. And as just previously providing that update around getting those other 3 partners on board. I know there's been a lot of discussion around how do we fill out those agreements and everything. And Sean, thank you very much for just providing that clarification. And it's up to me now to really just get those finalised over the next couple of weeks so that we're not going to delay the outcome, and just to ensure that we get that together. And as I see it, that this other project around biosolids derived biochar will be what we could probably term as a satellite project. I think, Stefano, that's what you kind of referred to them, and I'm happy to run it in that vein as well. So look, from my side, I don't really have anything in addition to add, and we'll just keep on keeping in contact and keeping those agreements moving.
So on the urine side of the project,
Yeah.
can you remind me, was that one PhD or master? Because initially it was a master, but then
Yeah.
you went to PhD. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a master's, and then we've upgraded to a PhD based on the additional leverage that I would get, and yeah, so we would look to get that student to commence next year, and so that we'd have at least the 3 years so that they can undertake research, particularly around the assessment of the agronomic benefits of the urine-derived fertilizer, both from, first of all, the sense of does it causes no harm, of course, to meet regulatory guidelines, but also looking at the crop yields and the like, as we discussed earlier, Jeff. And obviously, it'd be useful to even look at, as you keep in contact with Sydney Know around how Western Sydney are doing or taking their approach around the fertiliser side of things, understanding that there are some differences, but at the same time complement each other. And yeah, it's about that. Okay, so thanks very much, and look forward to catching up again. See you, everybody.
Thank you, Benedict.
Yes, yeah, thank you, I think Benedict.
Thank you.
Yes, Jeff, that's yours now.
Yeah, so I was saying, so Jason Reynolds and I have been thinking about how we would, because initially WSU was going to contribute 2 PhD students to focus largely on 4.1 and 4.2. So that's fertilizer behavior in soil and fertilizer plant interactions. And so Jason and I have been thinking about how we can cover off on those aspects of the hub with only a single PhD student that would be contributed by WSU. That I don't have confirmation on that yet, but after meeting with Stefano and Sean, I've been asking about that at my uni. And we think we've got some ideas about how we could, two things. One, we have projects that are ongoing that are around resource recovery in a broader sense. So after the discussions that we had with Sean and Stefano, we thought we might revisit our partners that are working with us on those projects around, mostly to this point, around recycled water, recycled wastewater, but also to a greater extent biosolids. And because since the scope of the hub has increased, whether they might be more interested in that than they were when we approached them around urine as a fertilizer, which they were not interested in at all. And so that's nothing to report there yet. This is just Jason and I strategizing. But in the meantime, we have been studying soils from various sites around Western Sydney, soils that have been receiving for almost a decade recycled wastewater, soils that are very heavily damaged, but where there's a strong desire in order to repair those soils around old abandoned quarries. And then there's also, so there's potential that we could maybe leverage the information that we've gathered from those soils where we don't have to invest the financial resources that we'd be getting from the hub in kind of repeating all of the work that we've done on those soils in order to better understand fertilizer behavior. But also really keen to see how this work could fit into projects with Blue Mountain City Council, so at the old Katoomba golf course, and basically apply some of the approaches that we would like to do on some of these other soils there. And why I was asking about whether the Royal Botanic Gardens were still on board and in what scope, if we could collect lysimeters, we call them, from there in order to study fertilizer behavior and the degree to which those soils can actually take it up and plants can grow in those soils and actually utilize the fertilizer. That's another site where we would cover off on the objectives that we'd put forward in those two programs within the hub. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah, when I do have confirmation about what's happening with WSU's contribution, I'll make sure to let you guys know as soon as possible. But yeah, really keen to start engaging, particularly within the Sydney hub. That was the thing that most excited me about the project when I was first invited to join, is just the transdisciplinary aspect of it. So I'm really keen to start having more of those discussions about how everything fits together.
Yeah, I mean, just on that, when I've been talking to Blue Mountain City Council, I know it's not confirmed yet or anything. I think people do change at last minute. Mm-hmm. They were talking about they're interested, when they were talking with us today, they had they were interested not only in the golf course, they were also interested in other sites in the Blue Mountains. So if we have a meeting with them, it might be possible for you to suggest from a soil scientist perspective, yep, there might be particular parks, locations they could use. And they seem to get, the more we were getting into the detail, the more they were getting intrigued by the project and interested in it.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. No, I can. Yeah, they have some concerns about tree dieback up here. And so, you know, there's potentially something around that could be included.
Yeah. And they're also incredibly interested in the shift of through soils into the UNESCO National Park.
Yep.
So you mentioned about the Royal Botanic Garden. What's the collaborative activity? Because still we are discussing with the Botanic Garden. They are now is reviewing our hub agreement, whether they will be involved or not. Most probably only in-kind contribution, mm-hmm, not the cash. So in this case, what kind of support do you need from the Royal Botanic Garden in Sydney?
It would most likely just be site access, where we can dig a few holes.
All right. Also, Botanic Garden, do you know where is the Blue Mountain Golf Course area? Just near around your place, or it's far away from your university?
The one with the Planetary Health Center is
Yeah.
in Katoomba.
It's right next to the Three Sisters, basically.
All right, I see. Yeah, we can think about, yeah, Jason can help you, and then we can go there together and then see, we look at the technology side and he look at the application. Because Western Sydney University, I'm sure that you are the one of the leading plant to demonstration as well as the plant to some hydroponic system in the greenhouse. So I'm not sure that, okay, lady, I gave you some of the fertilizer,
Mhm.
that whether we can also have some kind of hydroponic demonstration, what kind of the plant impact from our urine fertilizer, whether it's growing, because most of the previous study looks like they are well growing this plant. So whether we can have a more interesting some hydroponic based on it doesn't have to be very complicated experiment, but it's like we can keep providing some fertilizer to have which fertilizer, which plant, nitrogen, phosphorus. So we have like a ratio 10 to 2 to 4, 10 to 4 NPK ratio.
Mhm.
So what's the overall application? There are many studies like this plant is best for the urine, this plant is best for this one. So what kind of the mechanism we have some kind of application consideration, whether we can do that kind of
Yeah, we can do something like that on a small scale. I asked about the big production glass house that we have on campus, and it was a non-starter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So yeah, we will help you to just working together and then see how we can develop the project with Western Sydney and
Mhm.
our ISF people.
Sean, because we will be doing testing the City of Sydney parks and then Royal Botanical Gardens tastings will be done. So how a Jeff can also was involved in that, you can see later on.
Yeah, I think absolutely, Jeff. Yeah, we want to work together and how we can make this kind of thing happening. So we will see how we can involve your activity and the ISF people and the UTS. We can think about the best way to create the good opportunity. At this moment, Jason, Blue Mountain Project, because you are physically very close, and also you are the one of we can help you and then we can demonstrate together. That will be a good project. Also, Botanic Garden, we can help you. Also, whenever you need a fertilizer, so we have fertilizer here, so you can make an interesting study to publish and make an impact. So, but especially, the 61% of the whether you can eat the food from the urine fertilizer, and then 61% whether it's more about the scientific evidence, whether this is safe and then very much was no toxic at all, no related micropollutant. That kind of area will have a more strong, our convincing the people to have a food from this fertilizer.
Okay, so I think we've discussed quite a lot and all the presentations been made. So Sean, you have any other issues? Because this was, I think you have touched almost, there's some about media policy, you haven't discussed that. And you need to discuss that, or you already did that? Yeah, I think so. Media policy.
My what is, still we are progressing a little bit slower because of not only because of the industry partners, this pandemic, still we are not fully recovered. It's everything is very much delayed. So it's already March. So we want to a little bit progress faster, next month, finish the harbor agreement. So we need to push a little bit. So, and then industry agreement, project agreement in April or May. And officially, we want to start August. That's our first objective. So if you can have to progress, like now it's Blue Mountain, we are discussing. I'm a little bit worried about how long it lasts to communicate with them and how we can fix all the support. So if you can little bit in a hurry and then faster, it will be a great appreciate to make this happen for our project.
Just Blue Mountain City Council has just contacted us saying, can we do it as quickly as possible?
Yes, you're right.
So,
yeah, let's.
I think there's an interest all around on speed. So it'll more depend on pulling Sean, yourself and Jeff and myself together to get up there, basically. They want to see us on site. I think that's part of it. So.
Okay. That's all from me at this.
So we wrap up because we don't have any other issues to discuss, right?
Yeah, I think a 2-hour meeting is long enough.
yeah. Thank you very much for coming and then speaking to the last minute. I think it was 5:12. Yeah, so I think we finished before estimated time. Thank you for your patience and so we will circulate the doodle polls so that we can for the next meeting, CS meeting.
That would be good. Thank you.
Also,
Thank
yes,
you very much.
we will organize the Sydney Node people and then we can have a more discussion as well, like Stefano.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sharon.
Sean. Yeah, okay.
Everything done, and then now it's a little bit summarized, and then we can. I think that you don't have to summarize everything, right? Just action,
Yeah, I think so.
action, only action.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll just,
We don't have like remind. Okay, we will
Yeah.
have a Sydney Node action, and then this
Yeah.
action. That's it. We don't have to mention about. They will reduce the one pieces. The kind of small thing we don't have to mention about detail. Just action. Okay, we will override this one. Okay, Blue Mountain. Okay, this is the hub agreement. Finish it by March. And the project agreement finished by April. That's the target. Otherwise, it's very difficult to start our project in August. So we can just push a little bit of a timeline, and that's what I want.
so overarching agreement by March. No, okay, by April, and the project agreement by May, right?
So I will share my slide. I think project agreement, we just say April. If you say April, and they will do in May. if you say in May, they will do in June. Right?
Yeah.
So we just
March, so which means they have to have this.
Yeah, March hub agreement, April project agreement. So just the timeline. If not,